And it's time for a 7th grade game. This between the Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm and the Ohio Crush. It is Jeremy Scott here at courtside, Caleb Graham on the camera, and here we go. The Swarm control to begin this game. That is Olivia. Over that goes to Grace. Grace for 3, no good. Tracked down on the offensive side by McKinley. Cross-court pass back to Grace. Grace back on offense. Grace a bounce pass into the low post. That's Talia who kicks it back out to Grace. Over it comes to Olivia, and that is number 30 McKinley who has it. Back outside to Olivia, and Olivia will reset here for the Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm. Back to the left wing, that is McKinley. Cross-court pass back to Grace. Grace up top to Olivia. Olivia, left wing, that is McKinley. McKinley's going to take it up to the top and then dribble it and pass it over to Grace. Grace gets a pick from Leah, and Leah gets it in the low post. She sends it out to Grace for 3. That is up. That is no good. So all that ball movement ends up at no points there for the Swarm, who lose it out of bounds. And back it comes to the Ohio Crush. And if you're just joining us, hey, we've got more GBA action to come throughout the day. So definitely keep it tuned here to Facebook or YouTube, however you are viewing this. Ohio Crush now on offense, and they lose it. Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm, true to its name, swarms on defense. And back they come now on offense. That's Grace. Over it comes. That's Olivia, and she had that one partially blocked. And it's the Crush who end up with a good defense there on the part of Potter. And back in the Crush now on offense. That is Smith. Smith with a steal. That's stolen away by Olivia. Olivia's got it now for the Swarm. Taking it down to the other edge. She puts it up, and that's no good. There to take it up and put it up and put it in there. That is Briley for 2. So Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm sting first. It is 2-0 here in the early going. And this full court press, let's see how this one ends up. Jump ball, and that will favor the Ohio Crush. So we'll keep it going in the same direction after this inbounds pass. That is George. George, and then it's batted around in the backcourt. And what's going to happen here for the Crush? They are not going to be able, yes, they are going to be able to beat that press. That is Smith pushing it up ahead. Smith underneath, and out of bounds it goes off of the Swarm. We'll keep it at that end. The Ohio Crush will keep it on offense. Quick shout out to the Ferguson brothers, John and Jeff, making it happen on the administrative end. Of course, Tom Strasser over on the other court, and he is calling the game over there. This is Ox 2. He's on the game on Ox 1.
Set up, run orange, orange, orange.
That's George playing the point here for the Ohio Crush.
Good look.
They give it off. That's up, and that is no good underneath. There to get it again is number 50, Smith. And now it ends up in the hands of Weed. Morris loses it in the paint. Back come the Swarm up the floor, and the Crush catch up to it. And that's Smith who ends up with it. Smith taking it down, then she loses control of it. So back comes the Swarm now on offense. And then it's taken back by the Crush. A lot of possession changes here in a short amount of time, and it's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to go out of bounds off of the Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm. So Ohio Crush get it back on offense. Up ahead to Potter. Potter looking underneath the hoop, and out of bounds it goes, and that's going to go off of Grace for the Swarm. So Ohio Crush get it back. That'll be Morris inbounding. And she does. And there's a quick shot. That is up and not quite good there for Weed. Wasn't able to get that one to fall. And now Mid-Ohio Valley gets it back. The Swarm on offense. That's Grace. Up top. That is Olivia. Olivia back over to Grace. She'll attempt a three-pointer, and three-pointer rims out on her. No good. There's an offensive board. That's up. That's no good by Briley. And the Crush get it now. Crush up ahead. That is Morris taking it down to the low post and putting it up, and no good. And it's taken by Briley. Briley's got it back for the Swarm, who get it back on offense. A lot of movement, a lot of pacing here. It's a very fast-paced game here in the early going between the Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm and the Ohio Crush. That is Grace giving it back on the baseline. That is Olivia, who got bumped, and putting it up and in there is Leah for 2. It's 4-0. There's a steal underneath. There's a shot that's up. That's no good for Briley, but good defense by her. And able to get it back is Olivia. Grace is going to take a 3 and make that 3. Grace Nothing but the bottom of the net. She'd been looking for that three-point bucket. She finally got it. The score all of a sudden 7-0 Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm. And here's this press again by the Swarm. Ohio Crush able to beat it. Up ahead it comes. That is up to Morris. Morris is going to take it to the low post, put it up and have it blocked. Blocked by Leah. Swarm back on offense now. Push the ball down the floor. That is Olivia. Olivia gets it across the timeline. Olivia's going to take it. Stop. Little bounce pass over to the elbow. That is up and good for Grace. So Grace now has 5 of the Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm 9. They lead it 9-0. Out of bounds it goes off of the Swarm. Ohio Crush will keep it. 9:21 left to play here in the first half. The score, Mid-Ohio Valley 9, Ohio Crush nothing. And 3 in here for the Crush, 3 out, 2 in and 2 out for the Swarm. That'll be Lions playing the point here for the Crush on the inbound. Underneath the hoop it comes, and there's a shot. That is up, and that is no good. That was Avare on the shot. Just wasn't quite able to get it to go. And out of bounds it goes, and that is going to come back. To the Swarm. So the Swarm have it on offense. Grace will play the point this possession. Over it goes. That is to Kendria. There's a shot that's up, and that is good. Kendria for 2. And it's 11-0. Crush on offense now. That's Avare. Avare with the pass. Cross-court pass is going to go over the head, and it's going to be saved from going out of bounds. Good job there to save that one. There's a shot from the foul line that's up. That's no good. That's taken by the Swarm. Swarm get it, and then it's stripped away, and then it's the Swarm who end up with it, but Grace loses it out of bounds, and so it'll be Crush ball. In case you're wondering, Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm out of the Parkersburg, West Virginia area. True to its name, Mid-Ohio Valley. Crush. Have it stolen away. That's a steal by the Swarm. That's Cadence on the steal. Back they come on offense. Olivia to the elbow. Bounce pass to the low post, and then losing it in the low post is Briley. And here comes the Crush back. Avare laying it up, and no good. Good job there by the Swarm to get back on defense. I do believe that was Olivia who got back there on defense, number 42, and then it's intercepted. Intercepted by the Crush. Crush get it back, and then the Swarm steal it. And there's a tie-up for this jump ball. This will remain Swarm ball. .8:21 to go. The score 11-0. The Swarm lead the Crush. No fouls on either team. Just been a very quickly played game, very fast-paced game, but fast-paced game, but nobody has committed any fouls yet. And there's another tie-up. This one's going to go to the Crush. So this possession arrow favors the Orange, and the Crush get it back. So as I said, we will have action for you all day long here on GBA TV, as there's a tie-up again, and this one will favor the Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm. After this game, we will have a game between 2 9th grade teams, another Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm team. They'll be taking on the Northwest Hoop Stars. So that is the next game to come here on GBA TV. Still plenty left in this one, 7:50 in the first half. Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm on offense. That's Cadence. Bounce pass over to Olivia. Olivia drives the baseline and loses it. Crush now back on offense. That's Haney. Haney taking it down. Haney loses it, and Haney gets it back. And Haney gets it over to Weed, who gives it up to Avare. And out of bounds it goes off of the Swarm. And it'll remain at this end. Checking into the ball game for the Swarm, McKenzie, and checking in for the Crush, Dahlmeyer.
Hey, sideline.
Crush looking to inbound it here, and they finally do to Avare. She's guarded by Kendria. That's Leah. A little bounce pass. There's a shot that's up. That's no good. Taken by the Crush on offense. Avare gets that offensive rebound. Another three-point attempt. That one's short. And that one is going to be tracked down by the Crush. And jump ball. This jump ball will keep it at this end. I do believe that does favor the Crush. Yes, it does. Crush on offense. There's a shot that's up, and there's a foul. So Lyons is going to step to the free throw line, and she will attempt a pair here. That is the first foul on either side, and it comes with 6:54 left to go in the first. So Lyons stepping up to the free throw line. No good on the first fire. And the air ball gives the ball back to the Swarm. So Lions over 2 that trip to the line. As Potter checks out for the Crush. And checking in, Woods. So the Swarm cling to that 11-point lead. That's Olivia. Bounce pass outside. That's to Cadence. Cadence back to Olivia on the left wing. She'll attempt a 3. And that 3 is no good. Rebounded by Leah. Leah, short little jumper there. That one's no good. Shot that's up, and that one's no good for Olivia. And the offensive board finally falls. And that's a foul on the Crush. So the Swarm will take it out. Cadence will play the point here for Mid-Ohio Valley. Over goes to Kendria. And there's a bounce pass that doesn't find its intended receiver, and it's stolen away by the Crush. That's Avare. Push it to the other end, laying it up. And that's no good. Taken by Kendria. Kendria's got it for the Swarm. Kendria up ahead. She gets it to Olivia. Olivia, she's got someone down by the basket. Wasn't able to find her, though, but Mackenzie was wide open underneath the hoop, but down at that end. It's Kendria. There's a bounce pass to Mackenzie, and she has it blocked away, and it's saved from going out of bounds. What a play there by Avare to save that one from going out of bounds. Not only did she block the shot, she saved the ball from going out of bounds, and the Crush get another possession. For the Crush, that is Haney. And it's stolen away by Olivia. Olivia's got it. There's an outlet pass to Mackenzie. Mackenzie does get it, but then goes out of bounds. No, not quite. And it's Kendria who ends up with it. There's Mackenzie in the short corner. And she gives it up to Cadence, who on the run puts it up and in for 2. Cadence's first bucket of the ball game. 13-0 now the score. The Swarm lead the Crush. Timeout on the floor, and it comes with 5:24 to play left in the first. And you're watching this game right here on GBA TV on Facebook and on YouTube. Back to the action here. The Crush trail 13-0. They have the ball on offense. It is Jeremy Scott here at the commentary table alongside Caleb Graham running the camera. Crush on offense. That is Morris. And into traffic it goes, and the Swarm end up with it. Pushing it to the other end. That is McKinley. McKinley on the run, and out of bounds it goes. And it will be off of the Crush. It was Morris who tried to get back there on defense. So Briley will inbound it here for the Swarm. Bounce it into McKinley. McKinley on the baseline. Has it taken away. Back in the Crush. That's George pushing the ball to the other end. George going to pull up. We'll let the offense do its thing here. Morris. Into the lane. Gets fouled. And that's the second team foul on Mid-Ohio Valley. So Morris will go to the free throw line with a chance to put the Crush on the scoreboard for the first time. No good on the first attempt. Second free throw forthcoming. It's up. And it is good. So the Crush do get onto the scoreboard for the first time. It's 13-1. Comes with 4:44 to play here in the first half. Full court press here for the Crush. Swarm beat the press. That's Grace who has it. She's guarded by Potter. Grace, she'll attempt a three. No good. Taken out by Kendria. Kendria tries to put it back up, and it's no good. And jump ball called. Jump ball favors the Swarm. Crush in. Lions in for the Crush, I should say. And George checks out. Kendria, she'll attempt a three. That one's short. And that'll be pulled down by Smith. So Smith pulls it down here for the Crush. And then it's taken back by Kendria. Good defense there by the Swarm. Underneath. That's up. That's good. Count the bucket and the foul. 2 for McKinley. And she's going to go to the free throw line with a chance to add one more to the Swarm's 15. And something apparently was lost underneath the bleachers on this side. They got a referee and 2 players looking for it. The referee finally had to have a couple players come over because they can get down there underneath the bleachers to find whatever it is. Referee said, "You guys are shorter than I am. Why don't you get down there and do it?" And so there's a little bit of a stoppage in play here. Timeout on the floor. And with 4:03 to go, the Swarm lead the Crush 15-1. As McKinley misfires. There is a McKenzie, there is a McKinley on the Swarm, and that was McKinley who misfired from the foul line. And on the other end, a tie-up, and this one will favor the Ohio Crush.
Drag!
That'll be Morris inbounding here for the Crush. Finding somebody to pass to, she finally does. That's a shot that's up, and it does not fall for Weed. And there's a shot that's up, and that is good. And the score, 15-3. Up ahead it comes. The bounce pass. Ends up in the hands of the passer, Briley. Grace. She's a threat to attempt that three anytime she gets the ball in her hands. Olivia, cross-court pass. Over to McKinley. McKinley into the lane, puts it up. No good. Offensive board. That one was, I think, kind of tipped out of Leah's hands. And the Crush end up with it. That's Smith. On the drive. And that's a nice block by Leah. That's going to go out of bounds. And that's off of the Crush. So they're going to say that not only did Leah block it, but she blocked it off of that Crush player Smith and out of bounds. So 15-3 is the score. On the other end, Olivia wide open, and that's no good. Rebounded by Potter. Potter with McKinley taking the ball away from her, and she's tied up with it. And that's going to be a foul that's called. And that's the second Crush foul. 15-3 is the score. as Haney checks in for the Crush, and Lyons will sit. Briley to inbound here for the Swarm. She does. Up, no good for Leah. And there's a foul on the putback attempt. Briley got fouled. Third Crush foul, and Briley will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Briley's first shot is up, and it's good. Makes the score 16-3, Mid-Ohio Valley. Avare checks in. Smith checks out for the Crush. Second shot here for Briley. No good. Tracked down by the Crush. So Briley 1 of 2 from the foul line that trip. It's a 13-point ball game, 16-3. Yep, that is Smith. That was not Smith who checked out a little bit ago for the Crush, as I had said it was. I think that was actually Potter. And it's taken back by the Swarm. The Swarm has it back now on offense. Grace will stop, shoot the 3, make that 3. That's Grace's second three-pointer of the afternoon. She's got 8 points overall. And the score 19-3. The Swarm have that 16-point advantage. And that's a block. That'll be a block on Olivia. Third team foul on the Swarm.
Run 2.
Taking the ball out for the Crush is Weed. Inbounds it comes to Smith. Weed gets it back in the corner. Tries to give it off, and pretty hard collision there. No foul called. And the Crush save it from going out of bounds. There's a three-point look for Avare, no good. And rebounded by Leah. Gets it ahead to Grace. Grace. And she was trying to find Olivia up ahead, but it ended up in a Crush player's hands. And the ball smacks the wall. And that was Morris hitting the deck. She seems to be okay for the Crush. She gets it in bounds. She's going to take it to the other end, put it up, and it's going to go out of bounds. And that'll be off of the Swarm. As for the Swarm, McKenzie checks in, and checking out will be Olivia. Pass in bounds, that's up, that's no good, but that will be a foul on the Swarm. That'll put a Crush player, number 30, Weed, on the free throw line. She will attempt 2 with 1:29 to play here in the first half. Weed has not been to the free throw line yet today. On her first shot, she misses. As there will be a sub for both sides here. For the Crush, it'll be George. For the Swarm, it'll be Cadence. Checking out for the Swarm, number 30, McKinley. And it looks like that'll be Morris to sit for the Crush. As Weed steps back up to the free throw line, takes the shot, and that one no good. And it's rebounded by Avare, who puts it back up. That's no good. And it's taken by the Crush. So the Crush get another opportunity at it, but it goes through the hands of George. And out of bounds and back to the Swarm.
Get in it. Asia, what are you doing? Get in it. You're up on the wing. Get out there.
Grace. Bring the ball down the floor. She gives it off to Briley. Back to Grace. Grace, cross-court pass. And having some problems handling that was McKenzie, but Cadence ends up with it. Bounces it out to McKenzie. Out to Grace. Grace over to Leah. Leah from the foul line puts it up. That's no good. That is going to be rebounded by... Well, both players are going for it. It goes out of bounds. Who are they going to say it's off of? I think they're going to say it's off the Crush, so the Swarm get to keep it at this end. That'll be Briley inbounding it. Nope, it won't be. It'll be Kendria to check in. It's going to be Briley who will sit, and Kendria will do the inbounding here. To Grace. Grace to Leah. Back to Grace for 3. No good. And that's Smith who will bring the ball up the floor for the Crush. Ends up in Georgia's hand. She puts up the shot. That's no good. And it is taken by Cadence. Cadence has it now for the Swarm. Cadence going to push the ball down the floor. Cadence gets it across the timeline. Cadence up ahead to McKenzie. McKenzie over to Kendria. She puts it up. That's no good. Rebounded by Leah, who puts it up. That second shot no good. Kendria gets it back, puts it up, and finally she gets it to go. Fourth point for her. The score 21-3. The Swarm lead the Crush by 18. With 10 seconds to play here in the first half. Can the Crush cut into this lead before the teams huddle up for halftime? There's George. She'll take a shot. That's up. That's no good for three. That's rebounded by Weed. Weed kicks it back out to George for three at the buzzer. That one does not fall, and that's how that first half will end. 21-3. The Swarm lead the Crush. We'll be back with the second half here on GBA TV. Back to the action here. It's 21-3 as we get set to start the second half here at this 7th grade game. It's Jeremy Scott here at the Otterbein Classic. The Swarm lead the Crush 21-3. It'll be the Swarm to take the ball to begin this second half. And of course, if they go up by 20, it will be a running clock as Leah gets it, puts it up and in. There is that 20-point lead. As soon as I say it, it is 23-3. So this is a running clock situation until the Crush can cut into this lead to within 20. That is Morris. Morris has Olivia on her. She gets it to the foul line. That is Haney. Haney to Potter. Potter loses it, and it's the Swarm who end up with it. So, Grace pushes it down. That's up to Olivia. Olivia into the paint. Nice ball movement there. That is up and good. What good ball movement, though. Briley is the one who ends up with it, but you could give the assist to many people there. For that kind of ball movement, I think they all deserve an assist. The score 25-3. And it's stolen away by McKinley. McKinley's got nobody between her and the bucket. McKinley's going to drive it down, put it up, put it in there. She's got 4. The score now 27-3. It's been all Swarm since the teams came out of their halftime huddles. And that's going to be a travel. That'll be a travel on Morris. She left her feet, came back down with the ball, and they're going to get that every day. So, going to come back. There's Grace on the right wing. Grace passes up the 3-point chance. Going to give it to McKinley. McKinley to Olivia. Olivia in the high post. She stops. She takes the shot. That's up. That's no good. And it's saved from going out of bounds by the Swarm. And it ends up in the hands of the Crush, who get it off a defensive rebound. Leah not able to put the ball up and in for the Swarm. On the Crush end. That's up. That's no good. That's rebounded by Leah. Back comes the Swarm on offense. Olivia up ahead. That's Grace who ends up with it. Grace on the right wing. Grace is going to stop. She's going to pivot. She's going to pass it off to Leah, and she's going to have it stolen away. Stolen away by Weed. And out of bounds it goes off of the Swarm. And it will stay at this end. Inbounds it comes. And stolen away. That's intercepted. Intercepted by McKinley. Up ahead to Olivia. Olivia has somebody down there. That's Briley. She's going to try to bounce pass it into the lane. That's Grace who gets fouled on the way up. Count the bucket and the foul. Grace now with 10 points has a chance to add to that total. It's 29-3. The Swarm all over the Crush with Grace at the foul line. Her first trip there today. She's had the touch from 3-point range. She had 2 in the first half and knocks down that free throw. And now the score, 30-3, the Swarm over the Crush. And that'll be the first team foul on the Swarm, as there are 3 in and 3 out here for the Swarm. And the Crush inbound. And underneath the hoop, putting it up, putting it in there. That is Potter with her first bucket of the ball game. It is 30-5. Swarm over the Crush. Up ahead, and that's going to go over the head of the intended receiver, McKenzie. All but 2 Swarm players, and they have 8 active today, have scored. For the Crush, Potter's got 2, Smith has 2, Morris has 1. On the other end, runner, that's no good. There for the offensive board was Smith. That was no good, and it ends up in the hands of the Swarm. Up ahead with Grace. Grace is going to bounce pass it. There's a shot that's up, and that's no good. Grace there for the rebound. She puts it back up. That's no good, and it is taken by Avare. Avare's got it for the Crush, excuse me. And that's Weed. Over to Potter. On the baseline, there's a shot, and on her way up was Morris, and she got fouled, so Morris will step up to the free throw line off of that second Swarm foul of the half. Morris, who is 0 of 1 so far on the day, misses that one. I'm sorry, she's 1 for 2 now. She's 1 for 3. As Leah checks in for the Swarm, checking out will be Olivia. Second shot from Morris, no good. Gets her own rebound. Morris puts up, what a block by Leah. Swatted away by Leah. Up ahead it comes to Grace. Grace with it now. Grace over to Kendria. Bounce pass, that's up, and that is good. Mackenzie's first bucket of the game, 32-5. The Swarm lead the Crush. Timeout called by the Crush sideline. It's 32-5, 8:59 to play. It is a running clock situation. It will stop here on the timeout. You're watching this game here on GBA TV. 32-5 the score. The Swarm lead the Crush. We're at 8:53 and winding on the second half clock, which will be a running clock as long as the Crush lead by more than 20. There's a shot. That's up. That's good for George. Her first points of the game. 32-7. Grace up ahead to Kendria. Over comes to Mackenzie. Bounce pass. That's a shot that's up. That's no good for Cadence. And it's rebounded by Avare. And I think Avare lost it out of bounds for the Crush. Yes, that is what they rule. So it's going to come back the other way to the Swarm. Grace over to Mackenzie on the baseline. There's a shot. That's no good. Out of bounds and off of the Swarm. So it's going to go back to the Crush. Clock winds to 8 minutes. There's a steal by Kendria. Kendria, nobody between her and the basket. Lays it up. That's no good. Gets her own rebound, though. And she's going to put it back up. That's no good. And it's taken by the Crush. Smith pushing the ball past the timeline. Smith going to take it at the other end. And there is Kendria again on defense. Boy, I tell you what, she has been all over the defensive side of the ball today for the Swarm. As the Crush sub in 3, they'll take out 3. Coming out, I can tell you, Cadence. Also coming out will be Grace and Mackenzie. Dahlmeyer to inbound, and she does to George. And it's stolen away by Leah, so Leah takes it for the Swarm. Up ahead to Olivia. Olivia pushing the ball down there. And there's a bounce pass. That is up, and that is no good for McKinley. And it's the Crush who end up with it. That is Woods on the rebound, and there's a tie-up. And what's going to happen here? Who does that possession arrow favor? Favors the Swarm. So the Swarm still on offense. Briley to take it out. As checking in for the Crush now, Lyons. And sitting will be George. Briley on the inbounds pass to Olivia. Bounce pass over to Leah. Hook shot is up and good. Leah's got 6. The score 34-7. I'll tell you what, Leah, not too many players play the low post quite like Leah. I have really come to notice that just in watching this game. That is Smith on the baseline. She's going to put it up. That's no good. And there's a foul, and I do believe Potter is going to go to the free throw line, and she will attempt 2 shots. Yep, that is Potter. First shot up, no good. Potter's second shot is up, and it's short off the front of the iron. Up ahead it comes to Olivia. Olivia will stop. She'll attempt a three-pointer and make that three-pointer. Olivia 4-3. Makes it a 37-7 ball game. Clock winds to 5:30. That's Lyons. Lyons, stolen away by Kendria. Nope, not stolen away. It looked like it was going to be. Then it's Lyons who shoots the air ball. And up ahead come the Swarm. They've got 2 players down there. And that's up ahead to McKinley. McKinley gives it off to Kendria, who lays it up. That's no good. Rebounded by McKinley. She puts it back up. That's no good. There's another offensive rebound. That's Briley who puts it up in there. Briley with 7. 39-7 is the score. Under 5 minutes now. Crush back on offense. Lions playing the point. Guarded by Olivia. Gets it into the lane, and Smith. Smith puts it up, and Smith is fouled. So Smith will go to the free throw line. That's the 3rd Swarm foul this half. Smith, who has 2 points, has a chance to add to her total here. Smith's first shot is no good. Smith back at the foul line, puts this one up, and this one does not fall for her either, so 2. A little bit too strong for Smith. Kondraya's got it back for the Swarm. Takes it to the other end, and she was looking for Briley, and it went a little bit behind Briley. She wasn't able to quite get it, and so the clock will continue to run as the Swarm make a couple subs here. 23 Grace, as well as number 12 Cadence. Sitting will be 32 Leah and 30 McKinley. Couple subs getting ready to check back in here for the Crush as well. That's Lyons. Lyons looking for somebody to pass it to. She does to Smith. Smith puts it up, and she has that one knocked out of bounds. A couple of subs here for the Crush. Haney as well as Morris. And they won't check, but yes, they will check in here. And taking a seat will be Potter as well as Smith. Lyons to inbound, and she does. There's a shot that's up. That's no good. And it's taken by Briley. Up ahead to Kondraya. Kondraya not able to save the ball from going out of bounds, but the clock will keep running. So for the Swarm, it's kind of all the same. Just that the Crush have it and the Swarm don't. On offense, that's Morris. Bounce pass into the high post. Back it comes to Morris. Morris over to Dahlmeyer. Dahlmeyer tied up. Jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Crush. Under 3 minutes to play now. 39-7 is the score. The Swarm have this one pretty well in hand as Olivia pushes it down to Kondraya. Kondraya underneath, lays it up, short. And she tried to follow her own shot, and it's the Crush who end up with it. That is Lyons. Lyons with Cadence on her. Up ahead it comes to Haney. And out of bounds. Going to come back to Mid-Ohio Valley as Weed checks in for the Crush, and sitting will be Woods. There's a shot. That's a three-point attempt. That's up. That's no good for Lyons, and it's Kondraya on the rebound. Up ahead it comes to Olivia. Olivia. Bounce pass back to Kondraya, who gets it back to Olivia, who puts it up and in there. Olivia's got 5 points. The score 41-7. The Swarm lead this one by 34. That's Morris. Steps out of bounds with it, and it's going to come back to the Swarm. As McKinley and McKenzie check in here for the Swarm, checking out Grace as well as Olivia. So all Swarm players have now scored. Kondraya, bounce pass underneath, over to McKenzie, and McKenzie not able to save from going out of bounds. And it's going to come back to the Crush now. Lyons over to the foul line, kicking it out. That's up. That's no good for Dahlmeyer. Out of bounds, and it's going to come back to the Crush now, to the Swarm, I'm sorry, with a minute to play. Now we're under a minute to play here in this ball game. Inbounds it comes. And an outlet pass, that's up to McKenzie. McKenzie's going to stop, take the shot, put it up, no good. Out of bounds. Off of the Crush. Swarm ball. Under 40 seconds to play, and again, that clock continues to wind with that 34-point lead here for the Swarm. Bounce pass inside. There's a shot that's up. That's no good. And out of bounds it goes. Then it's going to go back to the Crush. So again, after this game, we will have plenty more GBA action for you to come throughout the day and well into the night. That's Dahlmeyer. Trying to get it back to Lyons. Lyons ends up with it, and there's a pile up for that ball. Up ahead to Kondraya. And will she attempt a shot at the buzzer? Sure she will. And she will make that shot as well. That's a three-point bucket there at the end for Kondraya. So that'll make the final 44-7. The Swarm take this one easily over the Ohio Crush. Like I said, we will be back with more action. Our next game, another Mid-Ohio Valley Swarm team. They'll be taking on the Northwest Hoop Stars. That'll be a 9th grade game right here on GBA TV. So stick around, settle in, get whatever it is that you need to drink and eat, and come back for more GBA action from Otterbein University. We'll be back right here from Otterbein.